Welcome back to Golden Blue, everybody, and if you are a college football fan, a die-hard college football fan, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. That's all we do here, videos of college football every single day. And don't forget, now you can send me stuff. Finally got a P.O. box. Send gear to represent your team on my back wall every single video and live show. Here's the address you send it to, P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina, 29657. Can you believe it? It is the actual first full week of college football. We had an appetizer last week, and it was pretty good. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good. We had some good games on Thursday. Of course, I was at the Backyard Brawl. We had some good games yesterday, but today is the main course. And so far, it's looking pretty good for Golden Blued whenever it comes to spread picks. But of course, this is strictly just for entertainment purposes, okay? So don't try to twist things. Oh man, you told me to bet this and I did and all. It's for entertainment purposes. But what I will say is, I am actually pretty good against the spread. So far, since I've started my YouTube channel and these spread pick videos, I'm around 70%. That's actually better than most professional bettors. So I actually know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I pick games and people are like, why did you, that doesn't even make sense. And it turns out it was right. The biggest examples, well, last year, Stanford went into USC and absolutely stomped the Trojans, and I predicted that. But before the game, whenever I predicted that upset, you got to remember, USC was number 14. This was a home game. A lot of people were saying, you're insane for calling that. Are you addicted to losing money? No, I'm not. I'm addicted to being right, is what I am. And of course, I was right about that. Big time upset. Hindsight 2020, it makes sense. They went 4-8. But at the time, a lot of people said that pick didn't make sense. So you got to take things with a grain of salt sometimes. But I do know what I'm talking about. Okay, I will say that. So far against the spread, I've picked 4 games, and I'm 4-0. By the way, a little history on my predictions, of course. Almost 70% against the spread. That's a high percentage. And last year, I did a Facebook group poll. There's about 40 members, I think, that did this. Guess who won first place? That's right, Golden Blooded. $300 prize. So I have an actual prize to back up my claims. And this year, I'm doing the same contest again. And so far, I'm undefeated. Here are the 4 games that I've picked so far. Central Michigan and Oklahoma State. I actually took the points, and of course Oklahoma State beat Central Michigan 58-44. They won by 14, which means they didn't cover, which means I was right. I nailed that one. The next one, the Backyard Brawl. Yes, I thought West Virginia was going to win that game, but at bare minimum, I took the points. Pitt was playing 7.5. They did not cover, so of course I won that one as well. The next game, Penn State and Purdue. Penn State won 35-31. The spread was Penn State was favored by 3.5. Of course, I laid those points and I won by half a point. Oh, that's really close. Hey, sometimes these spreads are really, really close. A win is a win. And finally, Virginia Tech at Old Dominion. I predicted the straight-up upset. Virginia Tech was laying 6 points. Of course, not only did they not cover, but they straight-up lost because they are straight-up doo. They're crap. They're poo. They're terrible. And Old Dominion, once again, beats Virginia Tech at home. So that was correct. I am now not worried about that game in Blacksburg. Not at all. And West Virginia made a lot of stupid mental mistakes in that loss to Pitt. And I've had a lot of Pitt fans say, man, I feel lucky that Pitt came out with a win. Well, you should, because we had a lot of drop passes. Of course, the pick 6 was off a deflection, off a drop pass. We didn't go for it on 4th and guaranteed. So I don't know what else to say. You won the game. You took advantage of our mistakes. But, man, we moved the ball at will. We averaged 6 yards a rushing play. How do you not go for it on 4th and inches when you're averaging 6 yards a rush? I don't know. That's why I called it 4th and guaranteed. Neil Brown has got to stop playing by percentages and numbers in certain situations and look at the entire picture. We're averaging 6 yards a play. You do have confidence in your defense. We could potentially put the game away here. Go for it. Play in the moment sometimes, man. All right, so here are the games for the day that I'm picking. The first game, number 13, NC State at East Carolina. NC State is the 12-point favorite. I am going with East Carolina for the straight-up upset, but at bare minimum, I would take those 12 points. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Pirates most definitely can upset the Wolfpack, and that's still saying that I think NC State will have a good season, a 9-3 type of season, finish ranked in the top 15. Maybe scare Clemson. I don't know. But this game is rough. This first game of the year. It's on the road. True road. Hostile road environment. I don't think NC State will cover. I personally think East Carolina will upset, but at bare minimum, take the points. Next game on the list, number 11, Oregon, playing number 3, Georgia. This is supposed to be a neutral site game, but it's in Atlanta, so it's basically going to be a road game. Georgia is laying 16.5. I'm going to take those 16.5. I think Oregon scares Georgia more than people realize, but they don't win. So I'm taking the points. I think Georgia wins fairly comfortably by 10 to 14 points, something like that. But I don't think they cover. Georgia goes 1-0. Oregon drops to 0-1. But Oregon feels better about themselves after this close loss. Next game, number 23, Cincinnati at number 19, Arkansas. This line makes no sense to me. Not even going to lie, Cincinnati lost a lot of production last year. Arkansas looks really good. It is at Arkansas 6.5. I am laying those points all day long. I don't know what else to say about that. This spread doesn't make any sense at all. Are there some injuries that I don't know about, or were there some transfers that I didn't realize that Cincinnati got? Otherwise, Arkansas all over Cincinnati. I think they win by 3 touchdowns, to be honest with you. Number 24, Houston at UTSA. Houston is the 4-point favorite. Houston went 12-2 last year. Yeah, but the actual teams that they played, they got smashed by Texas Tech. They got smashed by Cincinnati in the AAC championship. And they barely beat an Auburn that barely got to a bowl 17-13. 12-2 didn't mean anything last year. UTSA was one of those good teams that they avoided because, remember, last year in the regular season, they didn't play Cincinnati or UCF. UTS is an actual good game. This is a true road game, and I think UTSA upsets Houston in a close game. But at bare minimum, take the points. Houston maybe can pull off a close field goal win against UTSA. Next up, number 7, Utah at Florida. I do not like this game for a first game for Utah. Utah is the better team, but this is on the road, hostile road environments, the swamp. Florida with all the confidence in the world because they haven't lost a game yet because the first game of the year. Utah, the 2.5-point favorite. I'm taking Florida in the straight-up upset, and this does hurt the Pac-12's chances of getting to the playoffs. All eyes are going to be on USC after this because Oregon's going to lose and Utah's going to lose. Oh, man, our hopes rest on USC to get to the playoffs. But that's not going to fall through either. I think Pac-12 misses the playoffs again. Next game is going Utah State at number 1, Alabama. And Alabama is favored by 42 points. Look, I think Alabama is going to smash Utah State. But Utah State is not an FCS team. They just won the Mountain West last year. I think they're a halfway decent team. I think Alabama wins by 30-plus points, but 42 points, that's just too much for me. Maybe it's not too much for you, but it's too much for me. I think Alabama wins by 35, maybe 40. They get close to it, but they don't cover. But Alabama, yes, they absolutely smash Utah State, but they don't cover. And finally, number 5, Notre Dame at number 2, Ohio State. Most people, Ohio State fans, the Ohio State, it's just Ohio State. What is the infatuation with the? Why are you infatuated with that word? Why does that word mean so much to you? It doesn't make sense. Oh, man, they get us confused with Ohio. No, we don't. You're Ohio State. They're Ohio. Big difference. You don't need the D. You just don't need it. But anyways, the Ohio State, I have them covering the 16.5. That's a big spread, I know, but Notre Dame, big-time transition period for Notre Dame. And Ohio State, their biggest issues was their defense last year. They went out and got Knowles from Oklahoma State. I just think Ohio State's defense is going to be much better. It's not going to be a liability. This is on the road, first game of the year. I think Ohio State beats Notre Dame by at least 17 points. And guess what? By a half a point, that covers. And that's why I'm taking the 16.5. I think Ohio State wins by at least 17. So that means 17 or more. But at minimum, they cover by half a point. So that's a win. So there's my spread picks. Y'all let me know what you think about the spread picks. And I know you're going to think I'm wrong. So let me know where you think I'm wrong. Because I'm always wrong somehow, some way. I'm just curious as to where I'm wrong here. Okay, guys? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will most definitely see you on the next show.